This anime opened with several monsters burning a village. The three monsters named themselves after the three brother orcs. When the three monsters wanted to celebrate their success, behind a barrel, a little girl was seen cowering in fear. Not long after, someone flashed past the three orcs earlier. When they turned around, they saw a young man standing. The man's name was Asahi Ikusaba. Asahi warned the three monsters not to attack him. Feeling belittled, the three orcs were angry with Asahi's chanting words just now. Asahi explained that this was not without reason but for their good. The attack that came suddenly made the head of the monster fall instantly. Along with the collapse of the magic stone, suddenly came a red-haired girl who passed right above their heads. As the second orc fell, the girl landed right in front of the third orc. The girl with red eyes and hair stood proudly. The scene then moved to the moment before the fight, where Asahi, who was saving a girl, caused him to die and entered the world of Isekai through a portal. Asahi then realized that he was in a world that was far different from his own. Asahi became very excited to be in Isekai. What caught Asahi's attention was that the names in Isekai got references from several games he had played. I was so excited, and he became the center of attention for the people around him. Asahi then took out his cell phone to take a selfie, but because there was no signal and Wi-Fi there, Asahi couldn't upload the photo or send it to the group. Feeling that his cell phone was useless there, Asahi sold it and got 500 money. After getting the money, Asahi then bought some equipment and made his appearance to be like a real adventurer. After trying various styles with his new sword, Asahi decided to go to the adventurer group. Upon arrival, Asahi met a cute girl at the reception named Tanya. Since it was Asahi's first time becoming an adventurer, Tanya was willing to teach Asahi the basics. After filling out the registration form, Tanya recommended a basic level rabbit hunt. This was the start of Asahi starting his second life in Isekai. Even though Asahi had meant it seriously, Asahi's level of bad luck was beyond reason. With the intention of hunting level E monsters, Asahi instead found a giant dragon monster that was about to eat him. In the middle of the chase, Asahi tried to check the cheat he had. But it turned out Asahi only had very low strength and was useless because he was at level 1. Because he thought it was just an ordinary status, Asahi tried his skill. Truly a helpful skill. The attack from the monster blew away Asahi. Asahi had given up and thought he would die a second time. Asahi remembered Onshin and hoped that he would get protection from Maya. Asahi shouted loudly for Maya, and suddenly, a bright circle appeared and took out Maya's figure. Asahi was surprised to see Maya there. Maya then stood ready to confront the monster. The dragon then spitted out its fireball, hitting Maya, and a big explosion occurred. Maya didn't expect her body to be that light and felt she had gained new skills and knowledge that filled her entire body. When the monster was about to attack her again, unexpectedly, Maya released enormous power and managed to defeat the monster with one strike. The monster bounced and hit the hill behind it. After the monster fell, Asahi asked Maya why she was in Isekai. Asahi thought Maya was just an illusion, but suddenly, Maya immediately approached and hugged Asahi excitedly. Seeing Maya's behavior, Asahi was sure it was indeed her Onichin. Maya told that Asahi only fell into a coma. After Maya heard Asahi say the word Isekai, Maya knew that Asahi's soul was in Isekai. Maya immediately banged her head against the wall to follow her brother to Isekai. Asahi asked Maya to return to Earth, but Maya smiled and replied that she didn't know how to return to Earth. Amid Asahi, who was panicking alone, Maya looked calm and asked her brother to live well in Isekai. The scene returned to Asahi and Maya fighting the only remaining orc. Maya then came to the orc and stretched out her hand to attack. It frightened the orc. With a single movement of the hand, the orc was immediately annihilated. Asahi thought that Maya could not forgive the actions of the orcs who had hurt the villagers. Maya was surprised to see a small wound on her brother's cheek. Maya then took elixir to heal the small wound, feeling that it was her fault. This made Asahi scold her since elixir should only be used against the final boss. Asahi said wounds like that could be healed easily. Maya, who heard this, immediately smiled mischievously and tried to shove Asahi. Villagers who were still alive asked who had saved their village. A girl who had been hiding crying said that Asahi had defeated the monsters and saved their village. Hearing that, the villagers immediately cheered Asahi as their hero. Asahi felt that he was not the one who helped them. Maya heard this and was happy because many people could praise her brother. Due to that misunderstanding, Asahi was promoted from the rabbit to the ogre level. Asahi was later given the ogre level badge to prove his current adventurer level. Tanya explained that the badge was synonymous with the identity of all adventurers. Therefore, they were prohibited from selling the badge. Not only that, but adventurers were also banned from faking their rank, or it could mean someone weak claimed to be strong to raise their level. If caught, then the person would be executed immediately. Hearing this, Asahi then went to Maya, asked her to hide her strength, and made him appear strong in front of everyone. Without thinking, Maya immediately accepted her brother's request. Asahi then intended to look at Maya's status. Maya, who did not understand this, became confused. Asahi said that he just wanted to see the numbers. Feeling the situation was getting dire, Asahi explained that Maya only needed to pronounce the word status to know hers. Seeing Maya's enormous skill status, Asahi thought there was a bug. But it turned out to be accurate, and Maya was indeed overpowered. Maya's status surpasses all the statuses that other adventurers usually had. This made Asahi even more desperate because he was weak and useless, and his Onichin was overpowered. Long story short, they heard of a procession in town and joined the residents. They saw a party of adventurers led by Siegfried tasked with exterminating the Demon King. They were one level right above Asahi. After the party left, a drunken man who seemed to hate Siegfried's party was seen. Everyone there became afraid because usually only Siegfried could stop him. However, an old woman told the citizens that there was still one ogre-level adventurer left in this town, and that was Asahi. Hearing this, Asahi panicked, and all the citizens suddenly cheered on Asahi. Feeling challenged by Asahi, the drunken man mocked Asahi as a midget. Hearing that, Maya became emotional. Seeing her sister, who was about to explode and release her strength, Asahi whispered to her to hold back and not show her true abilities. After that, Asahi came up with an idea by whispering something to Maya. Even though it was a little troublesome, Asahi promised to comply with Maya's requests. Maya, who was interested, immediately agreed to her brother's request. After that, Asahi came forward and came face to face with the big drunk man. Asahi stretched out his hand and tried to attack the man. With a single hand movement, the ground between them was instantly split. Everyone who was there was surprised to see him. Maya turned out to be helping Asahi by using her power secretly. Feeling that Asahi was powerful, the man immediately ran away from there. After getting many cheers from all the citizens there, Asahi was seen walking alone with Maya in the afternoon. Thinking that everything was over, Maya was seen approaching Asahi and trying to fulfill his promise earlier. Maya then put her lips forward to kiss Asahi. Such was the life of Asahi and Maya Ikubasa, who were trying to live in the harsh world of Isekai. The scene opened with Asahi fighting a slime. Just by fighting slimes alone, Asahi was exhausted, and his EXP was drastically reduced. In contrast to Asahi, who was too weak, Maya was too strong. Even though she could exterminate many slimes at once, she still kept a low profile and praised her little brother, who managed to defeat a slime. Thus began Asahi's life with his fake rank and overpowered Onichin in Isekai. The scene then moved to Siegfried, who was overwhelmed by a demonic woman. Siegfried didn't believe in their defeat because they were quite strong and once drove a dragon from their city. But they had to lose badly to that demonic woman. The demonic woman arrogantly replied that she was much stronger than a dragon. The woman was bored because she always won and could defeat her enemy in one strike. On the other hand, Asahi gave his vest to Maya because Maya sneezed. Asahi suspected his sister had the flu because her clothes were too short and open. But as usual, Maya, who was dirty-minded, felt like Asahi wanted to warm her body. Feeling uncomfortable having to continue to depend on Maya, Asahi seemed to leave for the guild very early in the morning the next day. Still unaware of her brother's departure, Maya tried to talk to him from the outside, but there was no response. Maya just found out that Asahi wasn't in his room. Maya then entered Asahi's room and found the bed empty and a note on the table. Maya then checked the mattress and the remnants of warmth that stuck to the mattress. Maya enthusiastically jumped over the bed and rolled on the blanket because Asahi's body odor remained. Asahi, who came and wanted to take an easy hunt, was instead offered by Tanya a very high level of difficulty hunting. Asahi dodged that he wanted to take on the easy hunting cases first and only those in their city. Asahi said that he did that in anticipation that if the city were in danger, he would be ready to be around the city to help them. Tanya stupidly already wanted to be fooled by Asahi. Tanya then recommended picking rainbow mushrooms in the forest around town. Feeling that the mission was easy, Asahi thought he didn't need Maya to help him. Asahi immediately accepted the mission. Arriving in the forest, Asahi quickly found lots of rainbow mushrooms there. Asahi noticed that no adventurer had come there, even though the mission was easy, and rainbow mushrooms were everywhere. After a while, Asahi realized something. Asahi looked at the sign that said there was a big bear nearby. Asahi nervously said to himself, that bear wouldn't just appear. But suddenly the big bear appeared and Asahi, crying, ran fast to avoid the bear. Asahi, who didn't want to depend on Maya, tried to fight back against the bear. Asahi then tried throwing the rainbow mushrooms he had collected, but the bear instead ate it with gusto. After he finished eating, the bear prepared to attack Asahi. A purple light suddenly attacked the bear and startled Asahi. The attack sent Asahi flying far enough, landing his face on someone's chest. Asahi thought it belonged to his sister, but when he looked up, it turned out that the woman wasn't Maya. Even though they both had large chests, the woman had horns on her head. The woman asked how long Asahi would hug her and pressed his face against her chest. Asahi nervously pulled away. The woman seemed happy with Asahi because she was called Big Sister, even though she didn't know Asahi. Asahi thanked her, but the woman said it was too soon for him to thank her. When Asahi looked around, he saw that several giant bears surrounded them. The woman told Asahi that she thought all bears were very weak. The woman then threw Asahi up, and with alacrity, she finished off all the bears and caught Asahi just in time. But soon, a giant bear appeared who also carried many weapons, and it could talk. The woman knew that hunting bears in the forest in large numbers would bring forth an emperor named Emperor Bear. Emperor Bear knew who the female figure before him was. The woman was a demon who liked to test her strength against fellow demons. The woman's name was Kilmeria, the Destroyer. Even though Emperor Bear looked strong, in front of Kilmeria, Emperor Bear was just an ordinary bear. Emperor Bear then issued a powerful attack, but Kilmeria could easily dodge the attack while protecting Asahi. Kilmeria protected Asahi because she already liked Asahi. After all, Asahi called her his sister. Kilmeria then asked Asahi to withdraw from there, as it was her turn to strike back at Emperor Bear. With the Crimson Blaze's super large attack, the Emperor Bear vanished into nothingness. Asahi sitting behind her felt that Kilmeria and her sister's strength was equal. Kilmeria then introduced herself as the leader of the Demon King's army, one of the 6 generals of the Demon King, Kilmeria the Destroyer. Hearing that made Asahi's hair stand on end. Seeing Asahi's frightened face, Kilmeria tried to calm him down. Kilmeria said she wouldn't hurt weaklings. After all, Kilmeria already thought of Asahi as her little brother. However, as Asahi was relieved, Kilmeria asked him who Asahi Ikusaba was. Knowing that Kilmeria intended to fight him, Asahi wanted to escape. But unexpectedly, Asahi dropped his ogre medal and rolled right toward Kilmeria. Seeing the medal with Asahi Ikusaba's name on it made Kilmeria withdraw her words and intend to fight Asahi. On the other hand, Maya already had an uneasy feeling that Asahi was in danger. Meanwhile, in the forest, Kilmeria was seen chasing Asahi. After a long time, Asahi ran, and suddenly a powerful attack almost hit Kilmeria. Asahi was blown away, and this time landed his face on his sister's big. Maya then looked at Kilmeria and said she felt her brother was in danger. Maya thought that Kilmeria wanted to have intercourse with her brother. After many misunderstandings with Maya, Kilmeria deliberately provoked Maya's emotions. Kilmeria said that Maya's clothes were as open as hers, but Maya reasoned that Asahi liked her outfits. While Maya was still talking, Kilmeria was preparing to launch her attack, and the fierce battle between Kilmeria and Maya was inevitable. They were both surprised because this was the first time they had encountered an enemy that didn't lose in one attack. Even Asahi, who was hiding behind a tree, felt that it was true that their strengths were evenly matched. Kilmeria smiled and realized that Asahi's fame came from Maya's power. Even though Maya didn't give any response, Kilmeria was still excited to start the next round of battle. Maya was getting ready to issue her attack. They fought so fiercely that they flew here and there and destroyed parts of the forest and the mountains around them. Asahi, observing the fight from below, then realized one thing. Even though it looked balanced, Maya seemed superior and could quickly corner Kilmeria. Instead of looking angry, Kilmeria, who was cornered, was happy and wanted to bring out her most extraordinary power. Kilmeria then took out a super large ball of electricity and threw it at Maya. Maya then countered the attack with her hurricane-like power. There was a massive explosion, and Kilmeria was knocked to the ground black and blue. Kilmeria resignedly asked Maya to finish her off. Maya was already prepared by moving her hand to kill Kilmeria, but suddenly, Asahi appeared and blocked his sister from killing Kilmeria. Asahi explained that Kilmeria had saved his life twice from the attacks of the giant bears and the Emperor Bear. Asahi felt sure that Kilmeria was not a bad person. Kilmeria kept calling Asahi a child, but Asahi said that his name was Asahi Ikusaba. After letting Kilmeria live, Asahi and Maya walked back to town. Kilmeria watched them walk away and felt slightly interested in Asahi and Maya. On the way, Asahi complimented his sister, who didn't seem tired after fighting quite a lot with Kilmeria. Maya, who was very enthusiastic, even laughed and hugged Asahi tightly. Asahi accidentally shouted for Kilmeria's help. Elsewhere, Kilmeria, who was flying, accidentally sneezed. After they finished eating, Asahi asked his sister to bathe, and Maya complied. She asked Asahi not to peek at her. When Asahi was lying down in the room, Maya came and protested why Asahi didn't peek even a little at her while taking the shower. Asahi was angry at his sister for saying otherwise before. This episode was shown with Asahi running in the forest after being chased by goblins. Asahi confidently threw a stone at the goblin. The childlike attacks meant nothing to the goblin, as they only made his head bump, reducing HP by 2 points. The goblin immediately called his friends, who were ready behind the bushes to attack Asahi. However, unbeknownst to them, Asahi had a very powerful weapon and was coveted by many men. Not long after, Maya appeared, who immediately shot fire from her hand and scorched all the goblins there without a trace. Maya asked Asahi about his condition and cleaned Asahi's body, which was dirty with dust. But on a whim, Maya squeezed Asahi's butt, and Asahi screamed. Maya smiled slyly. Arriving in town, Asahi was thrilled because his level had already reached level 10. Maya felt that Asahi's growth was very slow, even though she had been helping him all this time. They just realized that the acquisition of HP was based on individual contributions and not on the help of others. Maya proposed to Asahi to finish off a dragon that she would catch or free hit. Asahi, who couldn't bear to kill the monster, made Maya think of an idea. Asahi rejected Maya's proposal for fear of injuring his sister. Hearing Asahi's words, Maya was surprised and immediately hugged Asahi. Asahi said if they wanted to do that, at least they had to do it casually and didn't use cheats because it would only reduce the fun of the game. Not wanting to continue to depend on his older sister, Asahi intended to level up again. However, that seriousness had to be interrupted by Maya, who hugged her from behind. Asahi suddenly felt that he got a new skill, namely escape, which could make him run away quickly, especially in such conditions. Asahi smiled because he felt he had won over Maya, who looked shocked and gloomy. But suddenly, the atmosphere became quiet and tense. Asahi looked at Maya, emitting a red light as if about to release all her anger, and went crazy. It turned out that Maya was the type of hunter whose anger was unleashed on her brother. Asahi looked at his sister, who was becoming more violent with cold sweat. With super speed, Maya lunged at Asahi when Asahi was about to run away using his escape. But when Asahi wanted to use it, the power wouldn't come out, and her sister's sexy body crushed Asahi's body. Long story short, in the guild, Asahi, who didn't want to depend on Maya, decided to find a party. Because he wanted to experience adventure with his party and explore dungeons together. Not only that, Asahi also wanted to have a romance with one of his party members. Tanya came and invited him to chat about the party in the middle of Asahi still daydreaming. Tanya thought Asahi was a solo adventurer. Asahi, who heard this, made it clear that he was having an adventure with his sister. Tanya thought that Asahi would be a fighter on the front line and his sister would be his supporter. Because of Asahi's lies all this time, he could only say yes to everything. In fact, Asahi had no superpowers and just hid behind the scenes. After that, Tanya proposed to form a party like Balmung Party, where each individual was powerful, from Gordon, an impenetrable tanker, Majiminosa, an expert at making magic and a healer, Sulain the archer who never missed, and Siegfried, who could deliver powerful attacks. Hearing that, Asahi became amazed, but he also wondered what the Balmung Party was doing now that they had gone to eradicate the Demon King. Tanya whispered something about the Balmung Party getting beat up by someone mysterious, and the rest fled the city. Tanya, who didn't want Asahi to get hurt, asked him to be careful in doing his job. Shortly after that, on the way back to the inn, Asahi met a drunk who several people were bullying. At first, Asahi didn't want to feel involved, but when he saw that they would kill that person, Asahi immediately threw a rock at the 3 bullies. They immediately turned to Asahi, who had dared to meddle in their affairs. But the drunken man who saw that did not remain silent. He immediately beat the bullies black and blue. Asahi was amazed to see that person was good at fighting. It didn't take long for the person to vomit, and Asahi helped him. He only realized after approaching him, and it turned out that the person was Siegfried. After his party was defeated in the previous episode, Siegfried became desperate. His dragon-level party, which used to be glorified by many people, was completely wiped out and reviled by everyone. Siegfried's despair made him blame his parents for giving him such a good name, not matching his achievements. Because of that name, he had to keep trying to act cool and excellent in front of the crowd. But his actions ended up in him having to fight with the demon army. Asahi's dream of having a party was instantly shattered when Siegfried said his party wasn't that great. Meiji Minosa turned out to be a cougar who liked to drink and spent time with boys. Sulaine, who was already 150 years old, constantly scolded Siegfried and the others for feeling much older than them all. Gordon was timid, and never even once did Siegfried see his face. In other words, having a party was pointless, and Siegfried also asked Asahi not to dream too much of the impossible. Siegfried told Asahi that he had disbanded the ballroom party after he failed in the previous battle. After all, Siegfried felt relieved because he had become a solo player. But Asahi said having a party was still good because they were all friends and could protect each other. Hearing that, Siegfried was speechless and regretful. After chatting for a long time, Asahi said goodbye. Long story short, at the guild, Tanya asked Asahi to go to a village to face a wyvern. Asahi wanted to call Maya to the inn first, but Tanya said they didn't have much time. Tanya rushed to accompany Asahi in a horse-drawn carriage. Upon arriving there, he had to face 3 wyverns alone. Thinking there was no hope anymore, suddenly, a powerful attack appeared that could drive away the wyverns, and Asahi was saved. It turned out that the attack was owned by Kilmeria, Asahi's other sister in Isekai. Kilmeria wanted Asahi to call her sister again, but Asahi refused because, at that time, he just said it wrong. Even so, Kilmeria was still thinking about what names would suit her as his sister. Kilmeria returned the medal rank belonged to Asahi, which had fallen before. However, before being able to say its true purpose, 3 wyverns came and prepared to lunge at the 2 of them. But before Kilmeria could use her power, Maya suddenly came and beat up all the wyverns. Kilmeria, happy to see that, even wanted to challenge her to a power battle again. But unfortunately, Maya ignored it and didn't think she existed. Maya just kept walking towards Asahi. Maya asked how Asahi was, and after checking that he was okay, they decided to go home. Kilmeria tried to stop them by calling Maya a woman who dressed in less material clothes. Maya reasoned that the clothes were Asahi's favorite clothes. Asahi, who didn't want to interfere, was forced to admit it, making Kilmeria's mood gloomy. Kilmeria, who was annoyed, challenged Maya to a duel once again. With a straight face, Maya asked why she should fight with Kilmeria again. Maya felt that her only obligation was to take care of Asahi. Kilmeria, who heard this, hugged Asahi to take him hostage. Kilmeria asked Asahi to pretend to be roughed up by her. Amid Kilmeria, who was busy hugging Asahi, she realized that Maya had disappeared from her earlier position. With an uneasy feeling, Kilmeria fell silent. Suddenly, Maya attacked her from above and hit Kilmeria's head until it lumped. Maya immediately took Asahi away, but Kilmeria didn't want to lose. She immediately grabbed Maya's leg and made her fall to the ground. In the middle of the fight between these 2 big-headed women, they didn't realize that a wyvern was already standing behind Asahi and immediately grabbed him and sent him flying. Because they didn't want Asahi to get hurt, the 2 of them immediately rushed to help Asahi. Maya tried to attack the monster, while Kilmeria saved Asahi. Kilmeria was surprised because she had entrusted Asahi to her. After the fight, Kilmeria acted up again, hugging Asahi again. Asahi, who had the escape skill, immediately used it right then and there. Seeing that too, Kilmeria laughed because she saw Maya and Asahi, who were very attractive to her. Feeling that she had no business left, Kilmeria said goodbye and left. Asahi saw Maya's smiling face seeing Kilmeria leave. Asahi, who always saw the 2 of them fight, thought his sister's true feelings for Kilmeria radiated from her smile. Knowing Maya, Asahi looked at her face, became embarrassed, and asked why Asahi did that. Asahi thought that what he needed right now was Maya alone. Maya, who always had dirty thoughts, misunderstood Asahi's words, thinking he wanted to sleep with her. This is the end of One Turn Kill Neeson Episode 3. Thank you for watching from start to finish. Don't forget to like this video if you enjoyed it, and subscribe to this channel for more videos like this. See you in the next video.